Welcome students, myself Deenu Nadayil from Professional Accounting and Finance Department, Christu Jayanti deemed to be University. So today we are going to deal with the topic correlation. So what do we mean by correlation? You might have heard of correlation, right? So what is correlation? So correlation measures the degree of closeness of relationship between two variables. But why do we need it? Okay, it measures the degree, but why do we need? The measure of correlation, called as correlation coefficient, it summarizes in one figure the degree and direction of the correlation between the variables. What are the different types of correlation we have? Number one, positive correlation. So what is positive correlation? If the variables vary in the same direction, that means increase in one variable results in the increase in the other variable, or decrease in one variable results in the decrease in the another variable, then the correlation is said to be positive. Can you think of example, students? For example, height and weight of group of students. Height increases, weight should also increase. Height decreases, weight should also decrease. So that comes in positive correlation. Or another example, income and expenditure of families. Second type of correlation, negative correlation. What is negative correlation? Negative correlation is also called as inverse correlation. So what it is? If the variables vary in opposite directions. For example, if one variable increases, the other variable decreases, then the correlation is said to be negative correlation. Can you think of some examples relating to negative correlation also? Price and demand of a commodity, production and price of vegetables are examples of few examples of negative correlation. Third type, it's non-correlation. So what do you mean by non-correlation? If the variables do not show any relationship between both the variables, or do not show any association between them, then we say that it is said to be of non-correlation or no relationship between them. Can you give some examples? Sales of umbrella and sales of student's notebook. Is there any relationship between the two variables which we consider? No. Purchasing power of money and atmospheric pressure. Is there any relationship between the two? No. Then it is said to be of non-correlation. When we were talking about the definition of correlation itself, we were speaking of degree. It measures what? Degree and direction, right? So how do we, now comes the question of how do we measure it? Yes, how do we measure this correlation? So there comes measurement of correlation into picture. So how do we measure it? So there are different methods. So we will be getting in one figure. It summarizes in one figure the degree and direction of correlation. So how do we measure it? There are different methods of measurement of correlation. What are the different methods? One, scatter diagram method. Two, Carl-Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Number three, Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. So the widely used method is nothing but Carl-Pearson's correlation coefficient. So we will be getting, so a popular and widely used method it is, and we will be getting in one figure how the degree and direction based on the formula which we use in Carl-Pearson's correlation coefficient. Usually correlation coefficient is represented by gamma. Okay, and how do we interpret this correlation coefficient, students? How do we interpret it? A positive value of gamma indicates positive correlation. Okay, and negative value of gamma indicates negative correlation. And if gamma value is exactly 1, then it is said to be perfect positive. And if gamma is minus 1, it is said to be perfect negative. And if we are getting the gamma value as 0, then there is no correlation between the variables. Okay, so what does that conclude? Gamma value, gamma, the measurement of correlation, it lies between minus 1 and plus 1 always. It lies within that range. Okay, I hope it's clear relating to definition. Yes, and what are the different types of correlation and how do we measure it based on, we have different methods, but we have dealt with Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient. We have a formula for it. Yes, and what is the range of Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient and how do we interpret it? Okay, and we will be dealing with further problems in the next upcoming video, and thank you.